I've lived in Oakwood Heights for more than 4 decades. Over the time, I've seen neighbors come and go, kids grow up, and the countless seasons paint the streets with color. But nothing quite prepared me for the showdown with my Homeowners Association or the storm that would prove them wrong. The tree in question was a magnificent white oak in my backyard. It wasn't just any tree. It was planted by my father more than 50 years ago, and over time, it had grown into a towering sentinel, providing shade, beauty, and memories. Birds nested in its branches, my grandchildren climbed it, and its leaves carpeted the yard every fall like nature's own artwork. One summer afternoon, I received a letter from the HOA. The tone was formal, almost cold. According to them, my oak had grown too tall and supposedly violated neighborhood guidelines. They demanded it trim it down or face fines. I reread the letter. Certainly was missing something. Too tall? The tree had been served for decades unchallenged until now. I tried reasoning with them. Explained that it was healthy, posed no more risk to my property, and that cutting it down would destroy years of landscaping and the family history. They weren't budging. They claimed their inspections determined that tree overhung neighboring properties and was a safety hazard. I knew better. This tree had withstood storms that had toppled fences and the small sheds, and it had never caused damage. Weeks later, a major storm rolled through Oakwood Heights. The wind howled, rain poured, and the lightning split the sky. I watched from my living room, praying that my tree would hold. By morning, the neighborhood looked like a war zone. Branches littered yards, fences were down, and the debris was scattered across streets. When I stepped outside, my jaw dropped. My oak stood tall and proud, unscathed, as if nature itself was making a statement. But my relief turned to disbelief as he noticed the neighboring property whose roof the HOA had proudly pointed to as being at risk was crushed under the limbs of another smaller tree that had snapped in the storm. The irony was staggering. Neighbors came over to survey the damage. Some shook their heads. Others chuckled quietly at the HOA's insistence that my tree was dangerous. The HOA board sent a representative, looking awkward as they surveyed the wrecked roof. He didn't say much. Nature had spoken for me. After the storm, he filed a report with the town. The damage to the HOA property was extensive, and the insurance company noted the irony in their assessment. My tree, deemed too tall, hadn't caused a single problem, while the HOA's property suffered major damage. For the first time, the board seemed hesitant to continue their campaign against me. He decided to send a polite note, reminding them that my oak had survived storms for decades and he had never harmed anyone. He attached photos, historical records, and even newspaper clippings highlighting the tree as one of the oldest in the neighborhood. He also added a subtle note: sometimes, what seems too tall is simply standing strong when others fall. The board didn't respond immediately, but over the next few months, their letters stopped. They never again mentioned the tree. It remained a monument in my yard, a reminder that persistence, patience, and a little faith in nature can prevail. I often sit under the tree now with my grandchildren. We talk about storms, history, and the importance of standing up for what matters. That oak is more than a tree. It's resilience, memory, and a symbol of the life my family has built. For those of you dealing with overbearing HOAs or authorities who think they know better than the people living in their homes, remember, sometimes, you don't need to argue. You just need to let your actions, or in this case, nature, speak for you. And if you enjoyed this story and you want more tales about standing up to unfair rules, neighborhood drama, and the triumph of the unexpected, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There are plenty more stories coming, and I'd love for you to be part of the journey.